Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for our 3:45 match. We're in Tavares, Florida right now at the Big House Volleyball Showcase. I'm Erin Campbell, and alongside me is Tank Olson, and we would like to welcome you to the match of USAny 17 versus Top Select Elite. So USAny 17 is from New York, and Top Select 16 Elite is from Orlando, Florida.
Well, Erin, this is the one I've been looking for with the teams from New York that we have coming up on the next two matches. And it looks like they're doing an awful lot of strategizing right now before the match even starts. But I think the pigeons have been released, and we should be ready to go in just a second.
And before the match, we had an opportunity to talk to club director from USAny, and he did talk a little bit about the roster. You can't really see what I'm looking at right now, but they have a bunch of girls between the ages of 17 and 18 that they can intermix all over the roster. So right now I know they're going to get comfortable or try to find those teammates or communication on the floor that really works out for them. They even have a few players that are young and 7th grade and on up. So this is one of the elite teams from the Northeast. So I'm really excited to see how they compete today. A very competitive warm-up, as did Top Select. Right now it looks like we're in a little bit of a lineup shuffle.
This is reminiscent of the old backyard football game where you say you be the bottle cap and you be the bent stick and the bottle cap goes long. They really look like they're flipping coins about what kind of lineup they want to put in to start the match.
And that's the problem you have when you don't have a set lineup before coming into the game. Yes, granted you have a lot of athletes on the team, but it causes a little bit of confusion. I expect them to maybe have a little less focus in the first few points than Top Select does because of that. But it looks like the lineups are set, and we are on our way to the first whistle. Good tough serve, great pass. Good dig by Top Select, goes outside, number 33. And a free ball out of bounds gives USAny the first point of the match. Back to serve, Veronica Lee Corcoran. She's a 5'8" defensive player. I apologize, she's a 5'9" setter.
Nice. Well placed, right about 6 inches shy of the end line.
Nice swing by Michaela Heidelberg from Top Select, from Sunridge Middle School. She's a 2018 recruit. And just as quickly as she gets the kill, she gets a service error. Wow, powerful swing by number 10, Stephanie Samedy. And that was a really good slowdown by USAny, but what happens when the block slows that ball down, it actually changes the direction. The defensive players are actually in the good position, but with the slowdown, it causes a little bit of a stutter step, and the USAny team could not react appropriately to the slowdown. Great swing by number 34, Brianna Lemon. Great dig by the setter, Serena Talone on Top Select. Good dig by USAny. Big left-handed swing from USAny, but even bigger block from Top Select. That ball was a little bit low for the attacker, Katrina Stewart. She really wanted to swing heavy on that ball with the left hand, but where the ball was placed, the block was right in front of it.
Oh, good power.
Maria Bellinger really taking advantage of the height in the block. A lot of times when the block is really tall, the arms are the most susceptible part of the block. If you try to hit through the hands, that's where the strongest part is, but the elbows and the forearms are the weakest, and that's exactly what happened. Hit right through those hands. Service error for USAny. Great spot by number 3, Danielle Serrano. She saw that the USAny block was completely taking away the shot she wanted, and the left front had gone to block, so the left front tip position was completely open.
Oh.
Another point from Danielle Serrano.
That was a gift.
Yep.
Right in the middle.
Good control from USAny. Both teams playing really good defense. Long rally, good play. The set was a little too wide for Katrina Stewart to get her feet to the ball. Tried to free ball the ball over, went outside the pin, and then back into the court. And timeout from USAny.
New York team seems to be a little bit more intense and to the point where they're almost overly so. And I think that they're having some maybe some mental lapses here and there because of that intensity. They don't feel like they've settled down and settled in. I'm sure that's why one of the reasons why the coach has called this timeout, kind of mellow out his team a little bit more and make them, like we talked about before, perhaps do a little bit more thinking than they are right now.
Well, and that was something we talked about. The simple act of not having the set rotation can cause just a second of frazzle in the mind of the athlete. So it takes them a little bit longer to refocus back in on the point. But one thing both teams are doing really well is passing. We haven't seen any balls dropping between two people. A lot of the balls are going not exactly to target, but in the general direction of it. The setters are able to make good sets, and that's the first ace we've seen in this match. And it comes at the hands of number 10, Stephanie Samity. East Ridge High School, 5'11" middle. Wow. Great swing by Maria Bellinger.
Well, she used that 6-foot height advantage on that one, every inch of it.
And sometimes teams will give away the line on the block. That's where they want their attacker to swing the ball because it's a high error, high risk shot. But Maria Bellinger just said, don't give me that because I will slam it on the 10-foot line, and that's exactly what she did. Third service error for USAny so far. 3-point game. Some could say that that's the difference right now. Wow.
Ooh.
Fantastic swing from Michaela Heidelberg, the 5'7" middle schooler, class of 2018, playing like a high school senior. Pure athleticism. Yavian Liz Rosado checks in for USAny.
Oh, really heads-up play, huh? Wide open to place the ball.
And that spot was wide open because the setter on top select read that the back row attacker was going to play the ball. She predicted that the ball was going to go deeper in the court, therefore releasing into her setting position, but that opens up a lot of court for her other 2 back row players to cover and leaves a lot of the backcourt susceptible. Service line infraction for USAny. Ball goes back to top select. Setters front row for USAny. Actually, setters front row for both sides. Watch the behind the plays with the middle, the slides, the back ones. Good swing. Great spot. Miscommunication on that first quick tempo set that top select wanted to run, but they really, just by having tips, just by showing that you're going to tip the ball, the whole defense sucks into the middle and it opens up the deep areas in the court. Service error for top select. Cecilia Wu back to serve. Oh, went for the short ball to try to cause some confusion in the front row for that top select team, just didn't have enough muscle behind it.
Now, Aaron, when you get a short serve like that, is that a strategically placed ball, or does somebody just not have the oomph to get the ball over the net? Is it poorly coordinated serve itself?
It's a totally coordinated serve. Because of the switching patterns in the front row, there's a lot of action that happens within the 10 feet on the net during the serve receive. The outside hitters will switch spots. Say she's a right side hitter, but she's in the 4 zone. Well, she's going to switch over to her right side position as the serve comes across the net. So by serving the ball there, it has the opponent delay those specific switches, and it causes a little bit of confusion. So it is a strategic serve, especially at this level. It's strategic. Great shot through a triple block. Top select being really aggressive out of the back row, as is USAny. Good spot.
Oh, my. She made a valiant effort.
Again, Michaela Heidelberg playing like a senior, not a middle schooler. Class of 2018. We'll talk about her a little more as she progresses throughout the match. All things going her way in the front row right now. And she has 2 errors at this point in the match, and she's had about 10 to 12 attempts from the front row and the back row. Very sound player. Free ball just didn't quite cross the plate of the net. You can see the top select coach just shaking his head. That's another coach kryptonite. That's what I call it. Missed serves and missed free balls. First set, top select is up by 7 against USAny, the team from New York. A lot of eyes here on this team today.
We mentioned it before. Everybody that's on the New York team who graduated last year went on scholarship to different colleges to play ball, and so they got to be doing something right. That's for sure.
And they really are the premier club up in the Northeast. So, you know, a lot of their players, they plug them into the program and they all buy in because they all love the sport, which is pretty much every kid that's in this gym right now buying into the sport. But they have such a unique opportunity to provide a competitive option for athletes to really get out there and play at the collegiate level where, you know, highly condensed club areas especially where I'm from anyway. In Missouri, there's about 7 to 10 clubs in the area, and it's hard to stand out amongst those kids. But what USAny does is they really bring all of those kids together, highlight them and showcase them on their club, and it just provides so many opportunities for them.
Well, like you said earlier, it also makes it a heck of a lot easier for the recruiters and coaches from different universities to scout the potential members for their team.
I love the aggressiveness of Maria Bellinger. A lot of times those players on the back row, they're afraid to swing heavy on the ball, but she has no fear, and I love seeing that out of an outside hitter in the back row especially.
They put another weapon in their arsenal. Oh.
There she goes again.
Yeah.
Through a triple block. Looked like the setter tripped over the middle, which is something that happens because of where the middle's point or start of her approach is and where the ball is coming from. You're going to see top select coach take a timeout.
Another
just to
timeout.
let her rest that ankle.
Aaron, compare and contrast these AAU teams with maybe just classic high school teams that are competing against other high schools.
Well, it's kind of like how club is to college. So you're a big fish in high school, you're a big fish in a small pond. You can't really select what teams you go to or choose what team you're going to be on. Granted, there might be some of that happening with private schools, things like that. But most of the time, you're given the team. In these programs, you select what club you want to play for, and then you're put with the best of the best from that pool of players. So just like in college, when you're the greatest high school player ever, and then you get to college and so is everybody else. That's kind of how club is. Everybody's really elite and everybody plays competitively, and that's what makes clubs so much more fun to watch, I think, because everyone plays different and everyone is just so much more competitive.
Well, that's certainly proving itself with this match here. Been some spectacular passing and some of the kill shots we've been almost the recipient of on 3 or 4 occasions. We got to keep our eyes open where we're sitting here broadcasting because of the intensity of some of those shots coming over the net.
Good defense by both sides, running their systems really well. Good use. That play's not over.
10 play, yeah, still.
Great play.
Quick reaction. Oh.
Wow.
Mistimed her jump, that's all.
Wow. Number 10 for top select. Stephanie Samedy went up to block that ball. The ball was tipped. Samedy played it out of the net. The setter touched the second ball, and the play was still good. The ball, in my opinion, never touched the net outside of the antenna. If it had, then the ball would have been out. But because Samedy made contact with the ball below the plane of the net, it never contacted the net, the ball was still alive.
Well, I think it was pretty unexpected by both teams because both of them ended up just freezing, thinking that the play was over with. And of course, the old cliche that you hear about in football all the time, you go to the whistle, Yeah,
and I think that was the problem too. And that's an issue with these big tournaments. You can expect the play to be over because you hear a whistle somewhere else.
Right.
But in actuality, that's not your whistle. That's theirs, Yeah. And I hear that a lot just from the down official and the down official on the next court. So I can't imagine how difficult it is for the players to retain focus when there's 6 or 7 whistles blowing.
Yeah. Tenacity is the key then. Staying focused and just keep playing until
somebody just rips the ball out from under you and says, no, stop, the whistle blew.
Exactly.
Service ace for top select, taking advantage of the substitution of Yavian Liz Rosado, younger sister of the libero.
Well, she's killer from that position as power hitter. Maria Bellinger. Well,
now they're blowing the whistles.
Yeah.
Now it's excessive.
Coming from everywhere. We got extra balls put in play from the other courts.
Back to serve, number 5, Samantha Yuleen. Oh, ooh. Heavy arm swing. Great swing by Brianna Lemon.
Coach, I hardly had enough time to get out of the way.
That's pretty much what happened.
That was a cannon shot.
Good coverage by Top Select. Great block by USAny.
Oh, well done.
Great block again by Top Select. Back row attack.
Oh, good eye. I'm always amazed sometimes at how comprehensive what some of the players' visions are of the other players' positions on the other side to be able to make a quick, instantaneous reaction. I think that's where we referenced before. Don't think it through. Just go with the play, quick.
And that was an example of, remember that cat and mouse thing we talked about? We talked a little bit about a cat and mouse game earlier, how utility players are a lot better at reading defenses and being smarter. You had a back row player make that play. She saw that there was a triple block. Okay, well, what would a hitter do? Well, they would hit around it. Well, she just roll shotted it right over and got the kill for her team because she's so defensive minded. So, granted, you probably don't want her swinging every time because she's a little bit shorter, but she really took advantage of the knowledge that she has acquired throughout the years playing volleyball.
Well, I think that's where the statement heads-up play comes from.
Absolutely. Very heads-up. Top Select 16 Elite is really putting the stamp on this match right now. USAny is passing exceptionally well, though. As I say that, they get ace. That's the curse. That's the curse. The broadcaster curse.
Well, it's why they play the game. You never know what's going to happen next. Oh.
And those are those plays that you look at as a defensive play. You're out of system. You really don't have an offensive swing. Put the ball in the best position for your team to get a better play on the next one. So send the ball deep. Force Top Select to do something out of system, uncomfortable, rather than put the ball out of bounds. Match point or game point for Top Select 16 Elite. Good dig by Top Select. Great dig by USAny. Back to Maria Bellinger. Again with that roll shot to the middle. Great spot.
Oh, right off her fingertips.
Great awareness by the setter, number 9. Emily DiStefano putting that ball right deep in the court. And that's the end of the first set.
Wanted to also, once again, I mentioned it before, but I wanted to expand on it a little bit. Here at the Big House in DeVaries, they also have a very large auditorium that's available for community outreach. So people in the Central Florida area, perhaps looking for a large enough venue to get all of the individuals that need to come to a single meeting involved, should consider taking advantage of the Big House and their theater, as well as the classroom space that they have. And you had mentioned a little bit earlier too about the beach volleyball capability that they have outside. So it's not just simply the indoor facilities that they have here. It's a more well-rounded approach. And then, as we also mentioned, as they put in the major league practice facility upstairs, they're going to have a dozen or so batting cages up there. So this is going to become a increasingly larger presence in the Central Florida and Tavares, Leesburg, Mount Dora, Eustis area. That the athletes that are coming up in this region are just going to have a tremendous opportunity to get, number one, excellent coaching, but also in a top-notch A1 rated facility.
And, with the rise of AAUs adopting beach volleyball, USAV has had beach volleyball for a while. Collegiate programs are now sanctioned to have beach volleyball. Depending on their Title IX capabilities, they might not be there. But what the beach volleyball courts allow is for more opportunities for kids to play the sport and get noticed in the sport, which is even more important. That's what club is all about. So now that there's opportunities for kids to play beach volleyball, I definitely see that's something that will ramp up here in the next few years. I mean, thanks to Misty May Trainer and Carrie Walsh, I mean, they've set the tone for beach volleyball forever. I mean, girls love watching them play and watch them be competitive, and they're three-time Olympians, three-time Olympic gold medalists, I might say.
And I'm led to believe, or if I'm not incorrect on my facts, that Carrie Walsh had a child and intends to come back.
Yeah, she's had 3. She's playing right now. She played in the last Olympics after 2 weeks after giving birth or something stupid.
Just incredible.
Incredible. I mean, they're just machines. That's what they are.
Well, to be an athlete at that level, obviously not just at the top of the game, but a magnificent record setter, and then to be a mother on top of it and to recover from. Oh, and many people know what happens to the body after you have a child. It takes a lot out of some women, but she's needs to be.
She's a machine.
She needs to wear a big red S on her chest, Superwoman.
She is. All those women are, especially the ones that have kids and they can devote that much time. I mean, to be an Olympian on its own is incredible. I had the opportunity to work with the USA Volleyball, for a summer, and just seeing the dedication that it takes. I mean, they spend 8 hours in the gym, and that's in the gym, not including the weight room, not including the video room, not including individual training sessions, not including, they still have to have a social life. I mean, it's just the level of dedication that it takes to be an Olympian is so beyond my scope of understanding. It's phenomenal. And they really do love the sport, and they're advocates for the sport, and there aren't better people in place to do that than the people that are there.
Wow.
I know that seems like it should make sense, but you see other sports where people, no offense to the NFL, but there tend to be a little bit of character flaws with some of the athletes, but not when you get to the Olympic level.
Right.
It's just they are the advocates of the sport, and they promote PR, and they're happy to do it, smile on their face. I mean, it's just phenomenal.
It is, but there's such a joy to watch. And do so many spectacular things on the court. You sometimes wonder how in the world they can make some of the digs and so forth that they do. It just, it seems hopeless if you run it in slow motion, and then all of a sudden the extension and it's the desire. It's the desire to get there, huh?
And you love to see just that fresh kind of look at this level. When they're a little bit weathered when they get to that age. When it comes to the passion in the sport, they really rely on their skill a lot more than the passion. But at this level, that's all it is. And these girls love to play. After a point, they're getting excited. They're coming together, high-fiving every time, and that's not fake. That's completely genuine.
Right.
And it's so unique to the sport of volleyball. I think it's the ultimate team sport because everyone has to touch the ball. There is no way you can play without anybody else and be successful. So it's the ultimate team sport to me. I love it. Miscue by the setter. Looks like maybe the light got in her eye. Ball dropped right between her hands.
It was the sun.
Yeah, sun. Her hands are probably frozen, like mine. Good dig by Top Select.
Ooh.
Another great swing by Michaela Heidelberg, the middle schooler, 8th grader.
She's got power.
She's got athleticism. Top Select up from the first set. They won the first set 25-14. Service error from Emily DiStefano. I actually got to watch Emily at the FSHAA state championships. She helped her team Oviedo High School win the state championship. Very fun to watch that match.
Great dig.
Great spot. And again, when that left front blocker comes over to block those quick tempo sets, that area is so susceptible to tip. That left back really has to make an adjustment to fire around, but if there's a hole in the block, the left back has to sit there. So it's a very hard play to read. Great job by USAny setter to just throw that ball over the net. It was a little too tight for her liking. Oh, that was a great swing. There was just a lot of action on the court. I didn't quite know which ball was which.
Yeah.
Which court that was for. Reserve.
Well, I'm glad the ceiling isn't a foot or two lower. We've been banging into it on that one.
It's a good try by Brianna Lemon to try to save that ball. It's a little outside the antenna. Oh, great way to hang in the point. And they win it.
Hey.
A lot of times when the ball goes into the net, it's still playable. So the trick to that is getting underneath the net. Wait for the ball to come out. Don't try to attack it back into the net because it's just going to add insult to injury. Just wait for that ball to come back out, sit under it, get it nice and high, and let another teammate play it. Wow.
Oh, nice. Nice block.
Great block by Danielle Serrano. 6 feet tall. Good strong hands. Press those forearms over the net. That ball didn't stand a chance. R1 having a conversation with Julia Hirsick. Another big block for top select 16 elite, really controlling everything that's happening across the plane of the net. Very disciplined blocking. Good tough serving is really allowing the middle blocker for top select to cheat in the direction of the attack. And then forcing the setter to have to do something different like she did in the last play.
Ooh. Too much spin to handle.
Cecilia Wu finding the spot within that triple block. It's a tough place to swing from in the back row with that triple block. Too much for Michaela Heidelberg to handle. Samantha Euline back to serve for USAny. Service error, 4th of the game for USAny. Stephanie Samedy back to serve. Back-to-back service errors. It's got to make you get some gray hair, I think, if you're a coach.
Please, Aaron, until I get to my colorist, no more mention about the gray, huh? Actually, I'm glad to have some gray hair than no hair at all.
That's right. Great swing, great dig, USAny. A little bit timid, USAny, not swinging as heavy as they did in the warm-ups.
Excellent rally, excellent.
Great composure by both teams. Great spot. And it's out.
Nice.
She tooled the block. That's the perfect shot in volleyball because it's completely indefensible. There's no one there. There's no one that can get to that ball because of how fast it ricochets off the hands and the location of where it lands. If it goes out of bounds, it's impossible to get. It's the perfect shot in volleyball, and a lot of times when you have a smaller hitter, you train them to swing high on those hands and get tools so that you score points.
Well, this certainly is a more competitive set than we had last time. Scores tied 7-7. But the continuation is just absolutely outstanding by both teams, keeping the ball in play.
Middle attack goes out of bounds. Point top select. And we're back tied at 8. Top select coach hitting the folder across his forehead, pounding his forehead. It just drives the coach nuts. Back to back to back.
Interesting communication technique. Everybody yell.
Everybody yell, it's out. Don't touch it. Let us have the free point. If they're going to give it to us, don't touch it.
Danielle Serrano on that serve. I really appreciated the technique on the serve, even though it came out as not getting over the net. She really was a fairly graceful ballet move to get it over, or at least to attempt it.
Great coverage by top select. Really nice job by number 2 from top select, Amy Marcus. Really good read. Saw that the ball was tight, knew that her setter was going to go up and push against the block because she had no other option. She saw that the block was there and was there for the coverage of the ball, keeping the ball alive and allowing her team to score that point. Really good job. That's exactly what you want a defensive player to do. Just be everywhere at all times. I know it sounds impossible, but they're just moving constantly, reading plays. Again, the roll shot from the back row works well for USAny. Catching that top select team on their heels. They're not ready to run forward. Ready for the ball to come right to them. Uncharacteristic errors from top select.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of those swings go into the net. The passing has taken the suffrage here in the second set. They were on point throughout that entire first set. Couldn't even get a service, an out-of-system serve from them. Ball hits the antenna, and that's point USAny, who now has a 2-point lead in the second set. Short serve executed very well. And an ace for USAny. Adding insult to injury to this top select's breakdown in passing.
Well, I was just going to say, New York's having a little bit of a rally here. Top select's going to take a timeout and see if they can make some adjustments. I would hesitate to use the word correction because I don't think that, based on the strategy that I've seen so far, that you can really be incorrect in what you're doing. It's just something else can be more effective than your previous philosophical approach.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I guess I never thought of it that way, that you're not really, the practices are where you correct, and then the games are where you make those adjustments and changes and play it out. That's a really good point. I never thought of it like that.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if New York USA comes up with a adjustment now that they've had the timeout and see they're out on the court a lot faster than the select team and top select. I wonder who had a little bit more adjusting to do than the other.
I think top select, really, the breakdown in the passing has shown to be the difference between these two teams, where in the first set, no matter what, USAny was passing really well. You know, they weren't scoring a lot of points offensively, but they maintained the foundation of passing and serve receive, where we've seen top select kind of fluctuate on that side of the ball. Now that USAny is really finding their groove offensively, their passing is helping them take this lead.
Oh, you sneaky bear. Well played.
Very smart play from a young player.
Yeah, got the kinesio taping. Totally heads up play.
Michaela Heidelberg back to serve. 5'7" outside hitter. Good tough knuckleball serve. Gets right back in it, makes a huge dig.
Oh.
Great swing by Brianna Lemon. Fantastic swing by Brianna Lemon. Powerful, finding the seam in the block, and it's just ricocheting off the blocker's hands at about, I don't know, 40, 50 miles an hour, it looks like.
Yeah. Well, that was a great dig by Michaela, though. I just talk about an inspiration for the other teammates. This is her third serve.
We just gave so many kudos to the USAny blocking team, but now, or passing team, back-to-back, or just had their first ace of this set. Come back with a good pass.
Oh, nice.
Oh!
Nice. Nice.
Wessel Blue, someone was in the net. Looks like it's back to USAny.
Oh.
And coach for top select is telling Brianna Lemon, don't slap your hands. Keep your hands in front of you the whole time and just up and over. Don't swing your hands. Great spot. Perfect set. Didn't have to be powerful.
Well, this set's got me on the edge of my seat. It's just like someone surges ahead 2-3 points, and then the other team catches up right away, and it's a tie, and it was tied at 10, and it's tied again at 14.
And that's the biggest difference between that rally scoring and side-out scoring is they just go back and forth, battle back and forth. There really is no one that takes a huge lead like they used to, you know? The matches won't last like they used to in side-out scoring. Matches would last, I feel like, 3 hours.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? Oh, my goodness. And now we're back to back to back to back here.
Well,
Makes the game more exciting.
it lets the action be more meaningful, too.
Yeah. Good dig.
Instead of just competing to serve the ball.
Good dig again by Michaela Heidelberg. Owning the back row and the front row. Fantastic play. Top select up by 2. Normally around this point, it's a race to 20. We want to get to 20 first, and then it's a last push to 5.
Oh, nice.
Great block by Danielle Serrano. Shoe timeout on the court.
The shoe timeout. Now that's an official terminology,
yes,
right?
that's a strategic play. That and the wipe of the floor. Yeah. If your coach doesn't have any timeouts left, that's what you're doing.
Perspiration out of there.
Yeah. Even though there's nothing on the floor, you're like, I gotta wipe the floor. You know, we just really need a break for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
After a long rally, you don't want the other team to have the momentum.
You do the shoe break.
Yep.
Shoe timeout.
Or hair timeout, that's another one. But you only get one of those. You only get one of those ever.
Oh, I can imagine.
You got to use that to your advantage. pull that out when you're really desperate. Good set.
Ooh.
No touch.
I wish, like in baseball, where you have the speed, the gun on the pitches, so you could tell the actual speed. I'd love to have a gun. Might do that next time. I'll see if we can scare one up for tomorrow and maybe put a gun on some of these spikes, because it's absolutely unbelievable. And as I said before, not only do the players not have time to duck sometimes, you and I, Aaron, sitting here at the broadcasting table, have gotten a couple of close calls ourselves.
Yeah, and they used to clock us in college, and serves go between anywhere 25 to 30 miles an hour, and attacks can be anywhere between 35 to 50.
Well, I've seen some today where I'm surprised the ball didn't catch on fire.
No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But think that's in a short amount of time. If they're going 50 miles an hour before they hit the floor.
Yes.
And there's still energy in the ball after it hits the floor. So it's still going really fast. And, if it was over a greater distance, it might be a little bit slower. But they're intense. It's pretty intense to sit behind there. And, there was a girl I played against in college that I was like, she has to hit 80 miles an hour. Like, there's no – she played for the Trinidad national team. She's 6'7", jumped about 25 inches off the ground. She's a freak of nature.
Yeah, the speed's almost incomprehensible when you can't see the ball because it goes so fast.
Yeah, when it lands in front of you before you even have a time to blink, yeah. Yeah, she was Kellyanne Billingham. I'll never forget her. Oh, great play. Hanging in the rally.
She save it? No, a little short. Valiant effort.
And around 15 is where the teams really break away, and that's exactly what we've seen happen in this set from Top Select. There was point for point for point until the last few points. Great serve.
Got an ace.
Now it's just a race to 4 for Top Select. 4 before 11. And after this match, we have another match slated for 5 p.m. Top Select 18 Elite versus USAny Elite. So that'll be another great combo of these two clubs. Danielle Serrano really taking control, being a presence at the net as a middle blocker. Anything that comes within 3 feet of her laterally, left or right, and crosses the plane of the net, she is up there pushing the ball back over the net. Number 16, Alexandra Reese checks in. Spruce Creek athlete, checks in for Top Select. And a block immediately, and she enters the game. Blocking is just as simple as putting your hands over the net sometimes, and you're going to get it. Just go ahead and put your hands over the net. Free ball to Top Select. 3 options. Huge swing by Stephanie Samedy. Great dig by Top Select. Good swing by USAny. And a big block.
Yeah.
From Julia Hreisik.
Let's see if that'll get them fired up, Aaron, and get them some points going here.
Blocks are usually those momentum changers. Blocking is my absolute favorite skill in volleyball, just if anyone at home is paying attention. It's the greatest thing in the world. Big tool by Alexandra Reese, kind of saying whatever, that's payback. You just told me I'm going to tool you too. Match point for Top Select 16 Elite. Courtney Randazzo checking in, as well as Serena Talone from Top Select. Service error. Still match point for Top Select. Good job at the net. Both teams playing very sound defense. Good effort. Unfortunately, 4 touches. Looks like it bounced off 2 players on the initial contact for Top Select. And again, we're just in a first ball kill situation. FBK. Get a pass and put the ball away, and you close out the match. First ball kill. And that's
there
exactly what they do.
Boom. Well done, too.
25-17. Top Select takes the second set. They won the first set 25-14.
Was this a surprise to you, Aaron, that the team from New York, although they played well, came up short on both sets?
No, because I think Top Select has a core group of kids that play constantly on the court. And I think not to any fault of USAny because they have so many athletes.
Mm-hmm.
The scrambling of not knowing who's going to start or in what position can cause a little bit of miscommunication. They're still feeling each other out. Granted, again, we've talked about how this is the first real tournament of the year. So those are those things they'll figure out throughout the rest of the season. But, you know, Top Select, they just a really great team, top team in this match today.
It's an interesting post-game or post-match ritual they're going through on the floor right now. I don't think I've seen this before.
Yeah.
This is one of the things you alluded to earlier about the cheers that you do, the camaraderie that grows out of being creative and doing things together as a team.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell these girls genuinely enjoy being together, and that's what you want. You know, you want these girls to enjoy it, especially before they go to college when it turns into a job. And,
right.
You know.
Right. It's so time intensive at the collegiate
level.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy